It's a buyer's market. Prices are down, so buy now. Troy Shively Luxury Living.
You might have heard people talking, whether it's social media, the news, or just around, that it's a buyer's market. Have you ever wondered what are the actual traits that makes it a buyer's market, and whether or not is it advantageous to you to buy right now? I'm Troy Shively with Charles Rettenberg Realty, and if you're considering moving to the Tampa Bay area or you just have questions, I help people every day just like you navigate the waters of real estate, whether it's buying, selling, investing, or relocating. If you'd like to have a private conversation, just click on the link provided in the description or email us, and we'd be glad to schedule a time to have that conversation with you. And now to this week's episode. So you're interested in buying a home and you hear that term, it's a buyer's market. What does that actually come down to? Well, basically what we're saying is that the buyer has more negotiating power than the seller right now. Why? Because there's a lot of properties for sale and not a lot of people out there purchasing those properties. Realtor.com saw a 0.6% decrease in home values for 2025. They saw a 1.1% decrease in home values throughout the South and a 1.8% decrease throughout the West. Now, with that, they saw a 9.5% increase in inventory. What does that come down to? Well, there's all the more houses on the market for sale, but there are no more people out there purchasing those properties. That is causing prices to drop. Now, when we look at the number of homes that are being sold throughout the U.S., in the last 3 years, we have seen for 2025, we saw 4.06 million homes sold. For 2024, we saw 4.06 million homes sold in the U.S. For 2023, we saw 4.09 million homes sold. Now, we have a chart to show this. And in this chart, you actually can see you have to go all the way back to 1995 in order to find a year where fewer homes were sold. In fact, if you look at the years 2008 and 2009 and 2010, those were the years of the housing bubble collapse where market prices absolutely tanked in the US and there was a lot of foreclosures. Even in those years, we never had fewer home sales than what we have had in the US for the past 3 years. So now we see that there has been so much fewer homes sold for the past 3 years here in the U.S. We kind of begin to understand what is creating that buyer's market. Now, with that, here in Hillsborough County, which is where Tampa is located, we have seen a large number of homes that are for sale here recently. If we look at this next chart, this shows the number of months of inventory that there has been in the housing market for the past 10 years here in Hillsborough County. If we look back to 2016, we see that there was an average about 3 months of inventory. 2017, 2 to 3 months of inventory. Same for 2018, 2019. Then we saw kind of a run on the market for 2021, 22. And there was only about 1 month of inventory that was available. That's what pushed home prices up. But then right after that, because of interest rates and the slowdown in the market, we see the inventory increasing. Now, when we look at 2024, we see that inventory now increased to 3 to 4 months of inventory that there was on the market. Then we go to 2025 and we see what? We see 4 to 5 months of inventory. Now we're starting off with 2026 with 6 months of inventory that is in the housing market just here in Hillsborough County. With that, that means there's a lot of houses for sale. You have a lot of selection. But with that, there are no more buyers out there purchasing right now than there was, back in 2025, 2024, 2023. Once again, a large inventory, few buyers, pushes prices down, creating the buyer's market because once again, it places the buyer in a stronger negotiating position than it does the seller. Now, let's look at another aspect. What creates this as a buyer's market, and that's the interest rate. Now, in this chart, you're able to see what the interest rates were for the past 4 years and how high they hit each of those given years. In 2022, we saw a high of 7.08. In 2023, 7.79% interest rate. 2024, 7.22. And in 2025, we saw them hit as high as 7.04%. With interest rates like that, who wants to buy a house? Of course, that's a big reason why we saw such a slowdown in the housing market. But with that, things are looking much better. I mean, if you remember what I had said in a past video, if you have a $500,000 mortgage and you were able to drop it from 6.5% to 5.5%, that would save you $305 per month on your monthly payment. Now, can you imagine dropping from 7.79% to 5.5? That's going double that savings. That takes a lot of people from not being able to afford a home to being able to afford a home. And this is what is helping to create a buyer's market. Now, in addition to that, we have a preferred lender that we work with, and this is his current rates right now. On a conventional 30-year fixed loan, we're looking at 5.375%. FHA 30-year fix, 5.09. VA 30-year fix, 4.99. USDA 30-year fix, 4.98. Now, when you start putting this whole picture together, as far as the number of homes that have been being sold in the U.S. annually, then we see such an increase in inventory and a large selection of homes out there, but still no great outpouring of buyers yet. And now we see what? The interest rates dropping. That is the reason why it is a buyer's market. It is a great time to jump in right now. If you wait too long, this is what's going to happen. Those rates are going to dip just a little bit more. I don't think they're going to drop a great deal lower than what they currently are. But when they do, all of a sudden people are going to get it into their system, buy. And as soon as all those people come off the fence and start purchasing homes, prices will increase. Just remember that prices will increase. So you have kind of a window right now when it's still very much the buyer's side that is in the benefit when it comes to negotiating on home prices and being able to get a good deal on those properties. So for the next month, 2 months, maybe 3 or at the most 4 months, I think you have a really great opportunity to purchase a home. If you are that person and you are looking, go ahead and connect with us. Hit that link at the top of the description. We'd be glad to have that conversation with you. Also, if you would, take a moment and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it.